There we go. Never mind that then. Good. This thing going over here. Where's my headset? There it is. So, all right. Test 1 2 1 2. Hello, how we all doing? Okay. So, what I'm gonna do here is we're gonna go over to here. Go here. And there we go. Now I can actually see myself. So, let's go back at bed. So, hello everyone. So for tonight, I want to do something a little bit different. So a long time ago, there was a deck called Jund. A lot of you may be, a lot of you may know this deck as Boomer Jund. And I can only imagine it's called Boomer Jund because the deck is so old. This is a deck that was an absolute scourge of the standard format around, I'd say like 2008 to 2010, that kind of time period. And I remember this deck being an absolute pain in the ass to fight against. And so, what I want to do is I want to take a look at this deck, see what this deck used to play, and how to try and bring this deck forward into current standard. So here, I'll show you what I'm talking about real quick. So let's go over here. Bing, bang, boom. There we go. Okay, so this deck right here, this is what a player named David Reitbauer played to the 2009 World Championships. And this is, for better or worse, pretty much what the deck looked like. It was a Jund deck, so it means it was red, black, and green. And so the mana base will reflect that. So we have some copies of Dragon Skull Summit. We have Forest, Mountain, Oran Reef the Vastwood. We have Ruban Crag, Savage Lands, Swamp, and Verdant Catacombs. So just a bunch of different ways to get your mana base online. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Now, where this deck really came together was in a mechanic called Cascade. And the Bloodbraid Elf was like the poster child for Cascade. And so for those of you who don't know, Cascade was a mechanic that basically you played a card with Cascade, and then you would start flipping cards over from the top of your library until you found another spell, that'd be creature, sorcery, instant, anything like that, that costs less than the cost of the spell with Cascade. So in this case, with Bloodbraid Elf, you would flip cards over until you found a card that cost 3 or less, and then you played that card automatically for no cost. So in the case of Bloodbraid Elf, what would you be able to cast off of Bloodbraid Elf? Well, not Broodmate Dragon, not Master of the Hunt. Putrid Leech would be able to be cast for free. That's pretty cool. Sprouting Thrynax, a very solid card to come off of Bloodbraid Elf. See, Garrick Wildspeaker? No, couldn't cast that. Bit Blast? No. Lightning, though. Lightning would absolutely knock someone out. This is a fantastic card to get off of a Bloodbraid Elf. Burst Lightning, Lightning Bolt, Maelstrom Pulse, Terminate. So, as you can see, casting a Bloodbraid Elf can be backbreaking by playing any of these spells off the back of Bloodbraid Elf. Now, other things that the deck did was it played just really good cards that often did more than just playing a card. Like it would, in the form of Broodmade Dragon. This card was a 4/4 flying dragon for 6 that came in with another 4/4 flying dragon. So you basically get 8 flying power off of only 6 mana. It's not too bad. Master Wild Hunt, this is another creature that just generates more creatures. It's a 3/3 for 4, which is not that great. But at the beginning of your upkeep, every turn, you make a wolf token. So that was pretty good too. So it's just a way to generate more and more value off of a single card. Then we have the Putrid Leech, which was just a 2/2 that could get bigger if you pay 2 life for it. Sprouting Thrynex, though, was a really solid creature for this archetype. It was a 3/3 for 3. And granted, it cost a black, a red, and a green, so it was a little difficult to get to cast. But if it dies, you get 3 1/1 green Saproling creature tokens. So in effort, you're actually getting about 6 power total out of only 3 mana. That's really strong, especially if you ended up like blocking something bigger with it, or if you found a way to sacrifice it for benefit and you get those 3 extra tokens off of it. That's pretty good too. So there's that. Then Garruk Wildspeaker, he was just here because he was good. He was really good for his time. 4 mana. He was a 3 loyalty Garruk. His +1 is to untap 2 lands. His -1 is to put a beast on the table, and his -4 is to give your creatures overrun. Like it was a really good game-ending planeswalker. Now, getting back into the Cascade mechanic, here's another card that was really good for Cascade. So this is a 5 mana card with Cascade. So basically, what this means is everything that the Bloodbraid Elf was getting for you, the Bit Blast would get for you as well. And it could also cascade into Bloodbraid Elf. And because of the fact that you are technically casting Bloodbraid Elf off of Bit Blast, you then get to cascade from Bloodbraid Elf into another smaller card. So you play Bit Blast to deal 4 damage to a creature, clearing a creature off the board. Then you cascade into any of these other cards like Master Wild Hunt, Putrid Leech, Thrynex, or Bloodbraid Elf. And you see, for example, you get lucky and you get a Bloodbraid Elf off of the Bit Blast. And then you get to cascade into any of these other smaller creatures, or more removal, or more direct damage to the opponent. Like, imagine hitting a Bit Blast into Bloodbraid Elf, into Blightning. It's like, in many cases, that's just the game right there. It's just game over. So it was a pretty strong card. And honestly, the mechanic of Cascade is what made this deck so very, very strong. And then you have other cards like Blightning. Blightning was absolutely amazing. So it's 1 black and red, deal 3 damage to target player. That player discards 2 cards. So it's a Mind Rot and a Lightning Bolt all in one. This is one of the most menacing degenerate cards from that era of play. And bear in mind, like, this was a card that came out in like 2009, 2008, somewhere in that area. So like, there wasn't a whole lot of other cards that had effects like this. So getting blasted by this over and over, like turn after turn, ditching your hand, taking damage, while also getting beaten down by the creatures that this deck had, it was so strong. Burst Lightning is kind of meh, especially because the kicker cost is so expensive, but it deals 2 damage to a creature or player, so this can go face. It will deal more damage if you have the mana to kick it, but in most cases, if you end up getting this off of a Cascade trigger, it's just going to be 2 damage. Lightning Bolt, though, here's something that's funny. Lightning Bolt was standard legal during this time frame. So you could actually play 4 copies of one of the most powerful spells in the game. The most effective 3 damage any target for only 1 red mana. It's like, nowadays the best we have for that kind of effect is Lightning Strike, which costs a whole mana more to cast. Maelstrom Pulse was very interesting though. This is a card that you don't really see a whole lot of anymore. Probably because this card was really, really powerful. For a colorless, a green and a black, destroy target non-land permanent and all other permanents with the same name as that permanent. So if your opponent has 2 or 3 of the same creature added onto the table, or the same token creature or anything like that, you pop Maelstrom Pulse and you clear them all away. Which would also make it kind of difficult to cast in a mirror match situation, because if you happen to have, like, say, like Tarmogoyf out and your opponent has a Tarmogoyf out, you can't really target the Goyf because then both Goyfs go bye-bye. You'd have to be very careful about what you target with the Maelstrom Pulse. And don't forget that this is a unilateral move. Like, it will hit both sides of the board. And then we have Terminate. Terminate was a very, very good card back in the day. Only a red and a green, so only 2 mana to cast. Destroy any target creature. It can't be regenerated. Really, really strong card. For only 2 mana at the time, this was a really good effect. You have a lot of these effects nowadays that are just like this, and in many cases are easier to cast, but this card had no drawback whatsoever. I would say probably the only drawback to this card is that it could not target planeswalkers, but being able to clear any creature off the board for only 2 mana, or for free if you cascade into it, made this a very strong choice for this kind of deck. And then in the sideboard, you had 3 Duress, 4 Goblin Ruin Blaster. This is a card that you don't really have anymore because modern game design for Magic really shies away from land destruction as a whole. So a card like Goblin Ruin Blaster, you're not really going to see a whole lot of anymore. Then we have the Great Sable Stag. This card was just here to fight blue and black decks. Like that protection from blue and from black and can't be countered made this an absolute house against control decks of the time. Jund Charm. 3 mana for one of these effects. 1, exile all cards from target player's graveyard, or Jund Charm deals 2 damage to each creature, or put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature. So this is a pretty decent card. Really good for clearing away small boards, or for eliminating opposing graveyards, so your opponent won't be able to do any kind of like reanimator shenanigans. And then there's a 4th copy of Maelstrom Pulse in the sideboard and 2 Thought Hemorrhage. Now this card was very interesting. It was a little on the expensive side, being 4 mana, but this card could absolutely nuke a player from orbit. If you knew what your opponent had in their hand, thanks to like a Duress or something, and you knew that your opponent had like at least 2 copies of the same card, you could cast this and just nuke your opponent. Here's what it does. 2 colors, a black and a red. Name a non-land card. Target player reveals his or her hand. Thought Hemorrhage deals 3 damage to that player for each card with that name revealed this way. Search that player's graveyard, hand, and library for all cards with that name and remove them from the game. Then that player shuffles his or her library. So 1, you are dealing 3 damage per copy of the card in your opponent's hand, and then you're ripping those cards away from your opponent. An effect like this being played today would offer to replace the cards in that player's hand with like random draw. This card just said no, just rip them out. You don't get to play with those cards anymore. They're just gone now. This was such a strong card back in the day. But also really good for just a sideboard option. Probably not something you want to play in the main, but a really good sideboard. Okay, so that is the deck that we are trying to modify for current standard. You'll notice the theme here is Cascade and really versatile spells that can hit anything, creatures that come in and do more than just one thing. Lots of great value, lots of versatility. So that's what we're kind of like looking at with a deck like this. So let's go ahead and head over to the game. And we are going to take a look at what we have on deck for a modern standard take of Boomer Jund. So, the mechanic that tied old Jund together was Cascade, but we have a new version of Cascade in Discover. And Discover is kind of like if you took the Cascade mechanic and you fixed it. With Cascade, when you flipped over cards until you found the right card, it would just fire off immediately. You did not have a choice whether or not to cast the card. With Discover, you exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card with mana value of the number, which in this case is 3, or less, and then you may cast it without paying its mana cost, or you put it into your hand, and you then put the rest of the cards on the bottom of your library in a random order. So that's the really great thing about this card, is you get to either cast the card or put it into your hand for use later. So if, for example, I get a Geological Appraiser and I find something like Assassin's Trophy off of it, and I don't have any like good targets on the opponent's side of the board, I can just choose to put it into my hand and use that later. Now, the other card in the deck that has quote Cascade is the Trumpeting Carnosaur. Now, the Carnosaur has Discover 5, so this card will get you any other card in the entire deck. Whatever it finds first is going to get cast. So Trumpeting Carnosaur, because it has Discover 5, can get you Aquasats. It can get you into Geological Appraiser, which will then get you into one of the smaller cards. Or if you don't find Geological Appraiser off this Cascade, you can get a Liliana, a Preacher, Aggressive Sabotage, Assassin's Trophy, Mosswood Dread Knight, Lightning Strike, or Bitter Triumph. Now, here's something that you might not realize about Discover. When you are discovering a card, you're exiling cards from the top of your library until you find the card, and then you cast the card without paying its mana cost. So it doesn't just come into play, you cast it as though it was a card in your hand. So, Geological Appraiser, it says, if you cast it, discover 3. So, by playing the Carnosaur and finding Geological Appraiser, the game considers that a cast. So then you cast the Geological Appraiser from Discover, and then you play any of these other cards. So you still get the effect off of playing the Geological Appraiser from exile from the Carnosaur. Now, another thing to realize is that kicker costs and adventures can still be played. If you find Mosswood Dread Knight off of Geological Appraiser, the game client will give you an option to either cast the sorcery side or the creature side for free. So you can still get some card advantage by casting Dread Whispers off of the Geological Appraiser. And another thing is the kicker of a card like Aggressive Sabotage. If you happen to still have 1 extra red mana available when you cast Geological Appraiser and you find Aggressive Sabotage, you can then pay the kicker cost. The game will give you the opportunity to cast the kicker, and then you get the full effect of the card. So those are 2 things to take into consideration when dealing with a Discover mechanic. So now you've seen how the deck kind of operates. Let's go over it card by card, and we'll talk about why we're playing this. So in the removal package, we have 2 Bitter Triumph, 4 Lightning Strike, and then we have 4 Assassin's Trophy. Now, these Bitter Triumphs are here as a kind of like a replacement of Terminate. Terminate was a card that would allow you to hit any creature no matter what. Bitter Triumph is just a little bit better. Only thing is you have to either pay 3 life or discard a card to play the card, which is typically fine because this deck does generate a lot of value. So you'll often have like a land or something that you can pitch to Bitter Triumph. And this card will destroy any creature or planeswalker. There's no limitations on that. It will nuke anything. The Lightning Strikes are here as a replacement for Lightning Bolt, because there is no Lightning Bolt in Standard. This is the closest we have. And it's still a really great thing to find off of Discover because it can go face. We already talked about the Mosswood Dread Knight. Assassin's Trophy. Really, really good. This, we don't have a direct allegory to Maelstrom Pulse in Standard. This is probably the closest you can get to. And it's a really good option, too, because for a black and a green, you can destroy target permanent and opponent controls. Now, that does not say non-land permanent. You can target a land with this. However, when you do target a land with it, your opponent can still go get another land from their library and put it directly into play. So, the only time you'd really want to target a land with Assassin's Trophy is if they have a really significant non-basic land, like a man land or a Mirex or something like that, or if they had enchanted a basic land with ossification, and that ossification is holding one of your strong creatures. That's when you would want to nuke their land, because then you, 1, nuke the land, 2, nuke the enchantment, and then you get your card back. And by nuking the land instead of the enchantment, you are not giving your opponent ramp. You're just giving them a replacement effect on the land that you destroyed. So that's really good. And also, this card can just destroy any card on the table. It can kill a battle, a planeswalker, enchantment, artifact, creature. Anything that's on the table that's giving you a headache, pop it with the Assassin's Trophy. Okay, moving on. Aggressive Sabotage. Now, in a vacuum, this is a bad card because it's just a Mind Rot, and you have to pay an additional red in order to get the 3 damage. However, it is a card that can end the game. I have killed many players just by kicking Aggressive Sabotage off of Geological Appraiser. And we unfortunately don't have a Blightning. This is the closest we have to a Blightning style effect in Standard. So I'm running Aggressive Sabotage because 1, it's great at ripping your opponent's hand apart, and 2, it's a way to kill your opponent out of nowhere. So it's decent in specifically this deck. Next up, we have Preacher of the Schism. Preacher is here as kind of like a replacement of the Sprouting Thrynax. Now, if you remember, the Sprouting Thrynax was a 3/3 that when it died, it replaced itself with 3 little 1/1s. Now, this card in the 3-drop slot, we could have chosen a bunch of different cards to fill this slot. Pardon me. So we have Preacher of the Schism, we also have Glissa, we also have Lord Skitter, and each of those are really strong 3-drops. When it comes to like just pure combat power, Glissa is probably the best, but I chose to go with Preacher for a few reasons. 1, is this is not a legendary creature, so I can have multiples of this on the table at one time, which will be really good if you happen to discover into this off of the Geological Appraiser or the Carnosaur. If I have a Glissa on the table already and I find another Glissa off Discover, then that's a feels bad, and we kind of try to avoid that. Secondly, this card will draw you cards without it having to connect. With Glissa, if you want to draw cards off Glissa, it has to hit the enemy. The Preacher does not have that. It just has to attack. And also, this card will generate you 1/1 life-linking vampires that you can help to use stall the game when things aren't necessarily going your way. And that's something that Glissa doesn't do for you. Now, the other option is to run Lord Skitter. And Lord Skitter is a good option because it creates an extra rat immediately when it comes into play. However, the rat token can't block, so you can't really use it as a defensive measure. But where you have the trade-off is that this starts eating cards out of your opponent's graveyard. So I chose to put this in the sideboard instead of the main deck because I wanted something that I could sideboard in against Reanimator strategies. So that's why Lord Skitter's over here in the sideboard. But of the choices given, I really think that Preacher of the Schism is the best option in the 3-drop slot as an allegory for Sprouting Thrynax. I think it's pretty good. So, And then we have 3 copies of Liliana of the Veil. Liliana of the Veil is here for 2 reasons. One, for the secondary ability of making players sacrifice creatures, and for the first ability of making players discard cards. Because we already have a discard sub-theme in this deck with Aggressive Sabotage and with Duress out of the sideboard, having a Liliana in here to continuously eat cards from the opponent is really strong, especially if you can land it against a control player. This is a really good card to have. So I wanted to run 3 copies of Liliana in this deck. So that rounds out our 3 drops. And also, bear in mind, you can get a Liliana off Geological Appraiser. Really, really strong. Okay, so we already talked at length about Geological Appraiser. So let's look at the 2 other cards. Aclazot's Deepest Betrayal. This card, I really wanted to play this card over a card like, say, Sheldred. While Sheldred is really good, Aclazot's has a few things that Sheldred doesn't do for you. It does still gain you life because it has lifelink. It is a 4/4, it flies, and when this card attacks, it makes the opponent discard cards, which, again, plays into the discard sub-theme of the rest of the deck. So this deck is pretty good at ripping cards out of your opponent's hand. And let's read the rest of the card here. Whenever Aclazot's attacks, each opponent discards a card. For each opponent who can't, you draw a card. So in a one-on-one situation, if your opponent is out of cards in hand, you can just draw a card off of it. Whenever an opponent discards a land card, create a 1/1 black bat creature token with flying. And when Aclazot's dies, return it to the battlefield tapped and transformed under its owner's control. And it comes back transformed as Temple of the Dead, which basically just operates as a swamp that you can activate, paying 2 colors and a black and tapping to transform that land back into Aclazot's. And you can only activate that if your opponent has 1 or fewer cards in hand, which they probably will at some points of the game, because you are applying pressure, making them play cards out of their hand, and you're making them discard cards quite a bit with this deck. So Aclazot's, I really wanted to run this in this 5-drop slot over Sheldred in the 4-drop, mostly because I just think it's a card that fits the theme of this deck a little bit better than Sheldred does. And at the top of our list is the Trumpeting Carnosaur. 7/6, trample for 6 mana. And when Trumpeting Carnosaur enters the battlefield, you discover 5, which means you discover every card in your deck. And also, it doubles as a removal. You can pay 2 colors and a red and discard the Carnosaur. It deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. So, again, really strong card, really versatile. And that is the theme that you see across all the cards in this deck, is each card in here is a versatile card that can do more than just one thing. So, really strong. I like it a lot. Mana base, you're going to 6 Swamps, 6 Mountains, 5 Forests. We got 2 copies of Black Cleave Cliffs. That is your black and red fast land. You have 1 copy of Restless Vents. That is your black and red creature land. 2 Blooming Marsh. That's your green and black fast land. You have 2 Restless Cottage. That is your green and black manland. And then 2 Copperline Gorge. I chose to go with the Restless Vents and the Restless Cottage over the Restless Ridgeline because, 1, the cottage eats graveyards and gives us food tokens, and the Vents has Menace and allows us to discard dead cards from our hand to draw new cards when it attacks. So I really wanted the value off of those 2 rather than the just +2 and untap a creature that Restless Ridgeline gives you. Now, let's go over the sideboard real quick. We have 3 copies of Cut Down, 1, 2, and 3. We have 3 copies of Duress. We have 3 copies of Brotherhood's End. The Brotherhood's End is here for the Boros Go Wide decks, other like White Weenie strategies or things like that, cards that, or even the Insidious Roots deck. This card is really good against. This is here for those Go Wide strategies that we can't deal with otherwise, and it's also here because this card obliterates the Synthesizer deck that has been gaining popularity lately. Now, also we have 3 copies of Lord Skitter. Lord Skitter is here because this is a card that eats opponents' graveyards, and we can bring this in against Reanimator strategies. And then we have 3 copies of the Tranquil Frillback. Frillback is here because it is a very versatile card that does things that we want it to do. So it's a 3/3 for 3, and when we play it, we can pay an additional green up to 3 times for each of those abilities. And one of them is destroy target artifact or enchantment, exile target player's graveyard, or gain 4 life. So this is good for helping us stabilize against aggressive decks. It is good for destroying opposing artifacts or enchantments, and it's really good at nuking opponents' graveyards. Really, really solid there. So good, versatile creature, and it's also just a 3/3 for 3, so can't really argue with that. It's a good card. So that is it. This deck is going to be played in best of 3 today. So without any further ado, that is it. This is Boomer Jund in Standard 2024. Let's go play some games. All right, we are playing traditional standard ranked best 3 of 3. The standard ladder did just reset a few days ago, so we are going to be pretty low in the ranks. I believe we might be in silver or gold at the moment, so we've got a lot of ladder climbing ahead of us. Yeah, we're in silver right now. Okay. Waiting on your opponent. Your opponent is choosing which player will play first. Well, they'll probably choose themselves to play first. At least I would. Okay, so our hand is Blooming Marsh and Forest. We have Assassin's Trophy, Bitter Triumph, Aggressive Sabotage, Lightning Strike, and Trumpeting Carnosaur. I'm not a huge fan of this hand because it only has 2 lands and it does not have red. So I'm going to mulligan this. Okay, that's a little bit better. So we've got Blackcleave, Restless, a Swamp, and a Forest, Bitter Triumph, Aggressive Sabotage, and Appraiser. So I'm going to send the Swamp back. We're going to keep 6. So Swamp goes back. Alright, our opponent goes first, and they kept a hand of 7 cards. And they are playing mono red, which is really weird to me, because typically you don't see mono red in best of 3. Typically that gets left to best of 1. But that's okay. We have tools to fight mono red in our sideboard. Okay, so our opponent played Demonic Ruckus. So what that means is we're going to play the Blackcleave Cliffs next turn to keep up mana for Bitter Triumph, because they're going to try to cast that on their Cacophony Scamp next turn. And when they go to play it, we'll nuke their creature in response. Okay, there it is. So we played the Bitter Triumph, and I will choose to discard a card. Target the Scamp, and I will discard this Forest. Actually, no, we will discard the Swamp, because we already have 2 black sources and 2 red sources. Okay, then Demonic Ruckus goes away. Let's see what they play. Phoenix check. So that tells me they are on 1 mana. Not good for them. Okay, so let's go ahead and play the Copperline Gorge. And I'm going to play Aggressive Sabotage without Kicker, just to rip out some cards from their hand, because next turn I want to play Geological Appraiser. Let's see what they discard. Phoenix Chick and Lightning Strike. Yep. They're full in on the mono red game plan. Surprisingly though, discard is a really solid way of dealing with mono red players. Because when the opponent runs out of cards in hand, they suddenly are in top deck mode, and every land that they draw is just exceedingly bad for them. Okay, so they played Phoenix Chick. Alright, so I'm going to play this other mountain. I'm going to play Geological Appraiser. Let's see what we get off of it. Oh, we get a Liliana. That's awesome. Okay, So we'll activate, make them sacrifice that creature. They do unfortunately draw a card off Demonic Ruckus, but that's okay. Do they have a creature to follow up with, though? No, but they have Invasion of Tarkir. And they're killing Liliana or the Appraiser? Probably the Liliana. Yeah. I imagine this is a smarter play. Okay, and they don't have anything else to do. Oh, okay. Let's go here. Let's go the Appraiser again. Let's see what we get. Okay, we got an Assassin's Trophy. We'll just put that in hand. And we'll utilize that later. I'll attack for 3. Alright, so we got Mountain into Squeebob. And are they going to attack? Probably. Monstrous Rage. Alright. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so we got a Blooming Marsh. So we'll go ahead and play the Marsh. We'll play Preacher. That'll keep up mana for the Assassin's Trophy. And then we'll attack for 3. Then we'll end turn. Now they can play all of their mana to play the Squee. And when they do that, I'll just Assassin's Trophy it. Oh, okay, they're just gonna play with fire. Okay. Okay, it does not have haste, so we will just wait. Because they don't have enough mana to get that out. So, end of turn, I'll just trophy that. Let them go get their land. Alright. Okay, we got another Preacher. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attack like so. Get a land. Okay. Then I will play... Oh. Still got to go on to the attacks. And he gets to choose a block. He chose no blocks. And I'll play another Preacher. And play this Forest. And I'll end the turn. And that will give me enough mana to activate the Restless Events if I really need to. Yeah, his only play right now is to get Squee back. And I'm sure he has at least 4 cards to throw away to it. Yep, resolve. Oh, okay, so he chose not to attack. Interesting. Alright, let's go ahead and draw a card, lose a life. Nice, okay. Next. Attack. Draw a card. Ooh. That might help us end the game. Alright. Bing. Okay, it goes to 5. Alright, so in that case, I will just play the Mosswood. And that keeps us up with removal mana. Cacophony Scamp. He's just a little scamp. Alright, pass. Okay, he is going to attack. Resolve. Pass. Alright, so that's going to block that, and that's going to block that. Gain a life. Mosswood Dread Knight goes back to hand. Dread Knight is so good as just a stall-out blocker. When your opponent doesn't have trample, it's just really, really strong. Oh, he just wants to play it again, huh? Alright. Okay. Go get a land. Yep, that's game. Alright, so our opponent is going to sideboard in some stuff, and we have some stuff for him. So, what do we want here? I think we want cut down. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we're gonna bring in 3 cut down. Do we need Lord Skitter? I don't know. I don't think we do, because the only thing that they are really going to be doing with the graveyard is Squee and Phoenix Check. Brotherhood's End could be good, but I did not see them playing Reckless Sabotage, so I don't really think I really need to ring it in. So what we'll do, so we're gonna bring in the 3 cut down. I'm gonna drop the Bitter Triumph and 1 copy of Assassin's Trophy, because the cut down's gonna deal with just about anything they have. Let's see. Let's do a double check on anything. Yeah, I think that'll do it. I really don't think I need the Brotherhood's End for this deck. So I'm going to call that done. This gives us slightly better removal. And our opponent will definitely be choosing to play first. Okay, so that's good. That's a good hand. So I'm going to go Restless Cottage, Swamp Mountain. We have Assassin's Trophy, Preacher, and 2 Appraisers. So I'm going to keep 7. So I'm going to play the Restless Cottage on 1, and then the Swamp on 2, so that we can play Assassin's Trophy. Okay, no turn 1 play is really strong. So I'm going to go with the Cottage. Alright, I play a Sokenzan into a Monastery Swift Spear. Into a Kumano Faces Kakazan. So we take 2 damage, 3 damage. Okay, perfect. Alright, let's go ahead and go here. And I'm just gonna hold my mana open for this turn. End turn. Alright, let's see what they play. A Phoenix Check. Okay. Resolve. Resolve. Okay, Monstrous Rage. That means they get a cut down. And I will take 2 damage. No big deal. Okay. Ooh, Copperline Gorge or Black Cleave Cliffs. I think we're going to go with the Copperline Gorge. And I will play a Preacher of the Schism. Alright. Kumano is now a creature. Let's see if they have a Lightning Strike for my Preacher. No, but they have a Slick Shot. Okay, that's fine. Alright, let's go ahead. We'll go Mountain into Appraiser. Let's see what we get. Sabotage works. Yeah, we'll knock out those last 2 cards. And those were good cards to knock out. Alright, take 2. That was a pretty clutch aggressive sabotage right there. Oh man. Alright, yeah, we take 1. Oh, he's coming with 2. Alright, kill it. Alright, let's play Mountain into Geological Appraiser number 2. Lightning Strike, perfect. Kill that. Attack with the Preacher. Make another dude. Take 2. This deck is fun. Alright, awesome. Alright, pretty cool. Well, now we know that the deck can beat Mono Red, which was very strong. That was honestly, like, Mono Red or like Boros Aggro are probably the decks that I'm most gearing to beat, because they're the most punishing aggro decks in the format. Alright, claim that. Alright, not too shabby. That's a good start to our night. 2-0 against Mono Red. Now, granted, I was not expecting to see Mono Red in best of 3, but what are you gonna do? Typically, a lot of people will choose to play in best of 3 to avoid having to play against mono red, because mono red really likes to finish games within like 3 minutes and just move on to the next match. Ganzan. Alright, let's see what you're up with. Waiting on our opponent. Okay, opponent goes first. We have all 3 of our colors. Liliana, Preacher, Agazot, Lightning Strike. Looks good to me. I'm going to keep it. Hopefully, we draw into a second black source before we get to turn 3. Alright, let's go Swamp. Pardon me. Okay. Oh, Deep Cavern Bat. Okay. So they're going to take my Lightning Strike. At least that's what I would do. They're thinking. Do they want Lily or do they want the Lightning Strike? They want the Lightning Strike. Smart. Okay. I'll let them go. So up against Demir. Flying Vigilance. Draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards unless you discard an instant or a sorcery and or a creature card with flying. Alright, so let's let them do that. And we will see what they choose to discard. Because they still have not attacked with their Deep Cavern Bat yet. Because they discarded a Fairy Dream Thief. Interesting. That's actually pretty good, because they can still utilize the effect from the graveyard. Yeah. You can go get a land. Alright. Just need to draw a black mana source. There it is. Perfect. Alright. Blossoming Marsh. Liliana. Sacrifice. Cool. That worked out for me. I like that. And if they don't deal with Liliana this turn, I can start making them discard. Alright, play another land. Oh, yeah, Restless Reef. And we mill 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty good targets. Alright. Let's go ahead and play Mountain. And I'll play Preacher the Schism, since you're tapped out right now. Now, he could come at me with the Restless Reef again. But if he does, I'll just block with the Preacher. Okay, I know what kind of deck this is. Discard a card. Alright, I will discard this Lightning Strike. Plays a Fairy Dream Thief. He's going to Surveil 1. Now, if he doesn't kill Preacher, I'm going to get 2 triggers off this next attack. So we'll see what he does. Oh, he plays Proft. Okay. Alright, Fairy Dream Thief gets bigger. Alright, so I'm going to play this Mountain, and then I'm going to attack for 2. Get both triggers. Cool. Alright, we beat in for 2. And I could play the Aclazots, which would give me a creature, but the kind of deck that he's playing, he's got 4 cards in hand, plus Restless Reef. It really makes me think that he's going to try to kill my Aquazots once it comes in, so that he can destroy the invasion. Bad. Steam Core Scholar. Alright, play as a Steam Core. Resolve. Discards a Fairy Mastermind. Okay. It is now a 4/4. Alright. End of turn. Make disappear. Okay. Works for me. Alright. I'll pay 3 life. Destroy that. Off you go. Alright. And then... so we are at fewer health than our opponent. Aw, man. Okay, that's fine. So now we have to not attack. Because otherwise that Restless Reef just comes in. Another Invasion of Mom and Cat. Okay. This is not looking good for us. Not at all. Discard a card. Yep. Off you go. And I'm just filling my graveyard with great targets for him. What's that? Another Restless Reef. That's great. So, I would say that our sideboard is going to be very discard dependent. So I think we're going to go to game 2 now. He's pretty much got us whooped there. So, let's go here. We're going to go 3 copies of Duress. And we are going to swap out... we could swap out the Trumpeted Carnosaur. That's probably going to be a good card to get rid of. Just to make it so that he can't resurrect it. Let's see here. And we have Lord Skitter, Brotherhoods, and Trumpeting Carnosaur. I'm thinking we might want Lord Skitter. Just to remove our own graveyard stuff. So, let's see here. Yeah, we'll ditch the Aquazots as well. And I will ditch... actually, we'll just bring 2 Lord Skitters in. We don't need to bring the full 3 in. Okay. There you go. So that gets rid of like the major targets for him to try and reanimate from me. And gives me better discard options for him. Cut down. The cut down is good for fighting the bats. But I already have so much that I can kill the bats with. I think this will do. I think this will do fine. Right. And we are on the play as well. Play first. Yeesh. That is a lot of land. We're going to mulligan that. Okay, that's a little bit better. Dread Knight, Assassin's Trophy, and Bitter Triumph. So we'll keep those. I'll send the Forest back because I have Blooming Marsh. There we go. That's done. Now it's our opponent mulliganing. Okay, so they mulliganed by 1 as well. So I'll play the Blooming Marsh. Mosswood Dread Knight will be good for helping me dig my way back out. Dark Slick Shores for Duress. Oh, so he brought in Duress too. Okay. He's going to get rid of my Bitter Triumph. Alright. So I'll play Swamp into Mosswood Dread Knight. It gets me a Preacher. I'm going to laugh if he has another Duress for me. He has a bat. That's fine. So he can either hit me with the Sabotage, or he can take my Assassin's Trophy. Or you can take the Preacher. Because Preacher is coming down next turn. Okay, you took the Preacher. That works for me. Okay, so we can play the Dread Knight, or we can give him land back. Don't think I want to do that. Instead, I'm going to make him discard cards. Do it now while I can. Let's see what he chooses. What did he discard? Discarded a Shoot the Sheriff and a Fairy Mastermind. That I didn't see that last game, so that might be a sideboard option. Yeah. Alright, sweet. So let's go and play the Restless Cottage. And do I want to play the Dread Knight or the Assassin's Trophy? I think I want to play the Dread Knight. Deep Cavern Bat with Profts is pretty good. I like that. Okay. They're both Assassin's Trophies. Steam Core Scholar. Alright. Yeah. You're putting all the counters on the... No, just put it on the Steam Core. That's smart. Okay. So let's go ahead and draw a card. That's good to have. Alright. Let's see here. I can do Assassin's Trophy. Or play another Mosswood Dread Knight. Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and trophy the Steam Core. Let him get another land out. Because he is kind of in top deck mode right now. And then I'll attack for 3. There we go. This is a pretty decent build of Dimir. It's not bad. Yeah, we're going to take some damage this turn. Yep. Alright, we're at 8. Alright, my turn. Cool. Even drew that. So let's play the Appraiser. Alright, Bitter Triumph. Target that. We unfortunately do have to take 3 damage in the process. And let's see here. Does this have Trample or Menace? Not just have Death Touch. Okay. No attacks. Dream Thief. Alright. Surveils for 1. It's into hand. He's gonna activate that to draw a card. Oh no, he's playing the Restless. Okay. Yeah, I'll kill that. Let's see here. Let's go here. And let's see here. If we activate that, we won't be able to play anything else. So, and that puts us to 3 as well. Yeah, I think we need to do this. That'll also give us a see where's that. There, Dream Thief. Get rid of that. That'll also give us a food token that will allow us to start getting some life. All right, we take one. Opponent has one card in hand. Let's go ahead and go with the Wrestle Skin. See if that card in hand happens to be a removal spell. It's Holden. Let's see here. What else is in his graveyard here? I guess we get rid of the Fairy Mastermind. Go next. Okay, works for me. All right, end turn. We can just sacrifice those food tokens at end of turn. Yep, take the one. That's the thing about props, is if you don't have card draw, it's not really doing anything for you. All right, sweet. Let's go and play Preacher. Okay, sacrifice to make disappear. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, resolve it all. All right, and then I'll play the Masu Dread Knight. All right, opponent takes a turn. All right, pay a life, draw a card. Plays a Mirex. That could be difficult. All right, let's go ahead and play this. And I'm going to play Dread Whispers. Okay, that gives me a Skitter. Attack for 3. And they got one card left in hand. Yeah, we'll go with the word Skitter. And okay, cool. They had me a little worried there. I wasn't sure if they're going to have mana to counter or not. 2 cards in hand, Mirex on the table, and Prophetic Memory. That's one thing I'm pretty happy with about this deck, is it does have enough draw to dig yourself out of problems. You know, I did not see a single copy of that battle being played so far this game. I wonder if he boarded them out. Alright, let's go play that land. Alright, let's get rid of Deep Cavern Bat. Alright, attack with the boys. Alright, put him down to 9. Mosswood Dread Knight comes into play. See what they do. I'm kind of expecting... Oh! I was expecting a board wipe at that moment, actually. Okay, so... What do we have? Cut down, Lord Skitter, Aquazats. We could bring another Aquazats back in. I'm not sure that we would really need to. Unfortunately, we didn't draw into our duresses at all, while our opponent did. That kind of sucked. Let's see here. I'm not 100% certain that they boarded out the battles. I think they might have just not drawn into them. So I'm loath to try and bring the trumpeting carnosaurs back in. Yeah, I think I kind of want to keep it like this. So we'll keep it like this. Play a game. Our opponent gets to go first. We'll see what happens. This is a pretty decent build of Demir, though. Not too shabby. Mm. Hi, Ishak. I didn't see the messages rolling in. Trade trophy for cut down. Probably, yeah. That probably would be a good trade up. The only argument I have to that is that I want to be able to hit his manlands with the trophy. Granted, it will still allow him to get another basic land into play. I the creatures that cause me the most grief in this match have been the manlands. So while it's not ideal, and Cutdown does hit pretty much the rest of his deck, I think I want to keep the trophies in. But thank you very much for the feedback. I do appreciate that. Well, our opponent is taking their sweet time in sideboarding. Oh, he just left. Okay, cool. I guess he decided he didn't want to continue that match. Did you have fun in the match? You know what? I think I did. Put a little smiley face. Hmm. Not bad, not bad. You know, how many tickets do I have by now? Wonder. Because I have not bought anything in this little pass yet. Yeah, I'm sitting on 1,162. We've got a few tokens. All right, let's play again. We're gonna play traditional standard ranked best of 3. We are in gold right now. We started tonight in silver. We are up to gold now, and I'm just gonna keep on playing games and try to climb this ladder because I have faith in this silly little deck. All right, cool. We get to play first. All right. So this is not the best, but it's also not the worst. The reason I say that is because we have Mosswood Dreadnought to kind of dig us out of this land hole here, and we do have the right colors for Mosswood Dreadnought. So I'm going to keep it and be very hopeful that we draw into a third land. This is a risky keep. I'm well aware of it. Let's see if it pays off, though. All right. First land is a swamp. And we are playing 26 lands, too. Candy Trail. Okay. Interesting choice. Okay, cool. We did draw into a second land. So we're going to play the Copper Line, and then we're going to draw a card off of Mosswood Dreadnought. Nice. It is a Geological Appraiser. I like it. All right. Let's go ahead and play the Forest. It's too early to play Sabotage, so I'm going to play the Mosswood Dreadnought right now and pass the turn. Virtue of Loyalty, a 2/2. Okay, cool. That's giving me a read into what our opponent is doing here. Okay, so this is a very tokens-based build. Alright, Copperline Gorge. Yeah, let's go with the Gorge. And then let's go ahead and... Do we want to attack? I don't think I want to attack. Yeah, no attacks. We'll just keep that available. Now we could play Aggressive Sabotage this turn, because we kind of want to play Geological Appraiser next turn. So I'm going to go ahead and sabotage you right now. Wow. Okay. So they discarded 2 Depopulates. So it looks like their game plan is to generate tokens over and over the course of a game, and clear the board and keep repopulating because they know that they can come in faster than us. Alright, let's kill that. Alright, we'll attack for 3. They take 3. Oh, the Emperor. How peculiar. This is an interesting deck. I like it. Almost sad. Okay. Let's go ahead and play the Geological Appraiser. Nice, we get a Lightning Strike. So we'll knock that out. And then we will play a Restless Cottage. And no attacks. Okay, so he's probably going to play the Virtue now. Yeah, that's what I would do. Those tokens are about to get real big. Let's see here. Alright, so let's go ahead and play the Blackcleave Cliffs. And let's play a Liliana. We'll make them sacrifice a creature. There we go. That should help. No attacks. Another Takesha's Welcome. Wow. Do you have a creature? Probably. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's pretty strong. Pretty strong. Alright. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and... Actually, no. Alright, first things first, we'll play the Trumpeting Carnosaur. Discover 5. Alright, so Moss with Dread Knight. Do we want to draw, or do we want to... Yeah, I think we want to draw off that. Okay, that's a good thing to draw. Let's go and play that Swamp. And then I will go discard a card. I'll discard this Geological Appraiser. We already have 2 in play. Alright, no attacks. So we can't be attacking into 4/4s. Ah, that sucked. Alright. Yeah. We'll kill that. Well, I definitely know what I'm going to be playing out of the sideboard. My throat is just full of nastiness. Here, we're going to go to game 2, and we are bringing in enchantment removal. Alright, Tranquil Frillback comes in, as well as Brotherhood's End. Let's go ahead and get rid of the Aggressive Sabotage, because it's not really going to be great when they're refilling their hand every turn. Let's see here. I want to keep the Assassin's Trophy, because I need to be able to target their enchantments. Let's see. Let's go down to a 2-of on the Trumpeting Carnosaur. And let's see. We can do a 1-of on the Aquazats. Okay, I think that should do. Alright, we still have plenty of removal. We now have better enchantment removal. I think we should be okay. Would Cut Down be good to bring in this match? It might be. Let's see. A Bitter Triumph will kill anything no matter the size, and it will kill their Planeswalkers. Lightning Strike gives us reach. No. I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be okay. Yeah. Because this deck is like, it's a straight up tokens build. There's no like turn 1 creatures I need to really be worried about. Okay, I will play first. Alright. Okay. That's a lot of removal. I will keep. Alright, let's play the Blackcleave on 1. And then we'll probably play a Forest on 2. Ooh. That's a good card to draw. Alright. Pass turn. My turn. There we go. Alright, let's go and play this. Our opponent's not doing anything, so I'm just gonna play the Monster Dread Knight. Yep, there's the Virtue. Called it. Alright, wedding announcement. Cool. Alright, let's go ahead. Play this. Let's see here. We'll play Frillback. Oh, stupid. Stupid auto tapper. You stupid. Why did the auto tapper tap like that? Come on. That just ruined the entire game for me. Stone Brain. Alright, what card are you choosing? Probably Assassin's Trophy. He doesn't know what's in my hand. Yet. Trumpeting Carnosaur? Okay, that's cool. He's worried about the Carnosaur. There's only two. Yeah. Alright. So let's go ahead. Oh shoot, I can't even play the Geological Appraiser. That sucks. Alright. Alright, here we come. Alright, you go to 11. Yeah, more than a little trolling. That was aggravating, is what that was. All right, yeah, sure. It goes bye-bye.
You are not much of a roadblock.
See here. I'll pay 3 life and you just get rid of that. Make sure you don't have that to block with. Yeah. All right. Yeah, nah. I'm getting screwed on the red. That's not good. Mm-hmm. Just need 1 red mana and we'll be okay. Yeah. You're about to take 3 damage. Jesus. Interesting build. I'll give him that. Yep. Oh, and he didn't even attack with it. Wow. Yeah. No. Well, got plenty of green this game. That's great. I can't attack this turn. End turn. Yeah, well, maybe. No, I don't think so. Yeah, no, you got this one. Ugh. Let's revisit our mana base real quick and see what led to us not getting enough red. Let's see here. Let's take a look at the deck. Alright, so double red here in the sideboard, double red on the Brotherhood's end. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11 sources of red mana. And we have more mountains than forests, the same amount as swamps. It really shouldn't be that big of an issue. I think we might have just gotten unlucky on that. Now, the red and the black are much more important to hit than the green. So we could potentially move like one Copperline Gorge out, or just move one forest out for another mountain. If we do that, we run the risk of never being able to cast our green spells. You know what? We'll do that. Let's go down one forest, go up one mountain, and we'll see if that'll work a little bit better for us. A simple change like that does sometimes help out. All right, we'll play one more match. Let's see. Yeah, it's almost 8 o'clock here, so we'll play this one last match, see how it works for us, and then we'll probably call it a night after that. But I will be 100% genuine with you on this. I am thoroughly enjoying this deck. This deck is actually a lot of fun. Pine03. They're trying to say they're heinous. It might be heinous. All right, we get to play first. Ouch, that's a bad hand. Mulligan that. Okay, that's slightly better. We do have the Mosswood Dread Knight to help draw us out of this. So we will keep this, and I will send back the Assassin's Trophy. Alright, Mountain goes first. Swamp goes first. We'll play a Mountain second. Alright, cool. Mountain into Dread Whispers. Draw a card. Sweet. Got ourselves a Blooming Marsh that we can play on turn 3. Alright, go and play the Marsh. And... ooh, they've got Counterspell mana open. Let's tempt them with a Dread Knight. Okay. They did hold Prio for a moment. Okay. Okay, so we're up against Dimir Poison. We know how to play against this. Alright. Do we want to play the Swamp, or do we want to play the Restless Cottage? I think we want to play the Cottage. And they are keeping all their mana open. I think we want to make them have it. Alright. Discard a card. So if they are playing... that's fine. If they are playing the Dimir that I think it is, they're not going to have a whole lot of creatures. So we're just going to drop some of this removal. Because I've played this deck myself quite a few times, and this deck can very easily win without playing a single creature. Which is part of why I enjoy this deck so much. Alright, let's go and play the Swamp. Animate the Restless Cottage. Okay. Long goodbye, interesting. Ugh. Deduce. Oh, well, I'm stuck now. Yep. Well, I know how I'm going to board against this deck. Alright, well, make them have it. Either way, this card's going to dig one card out of your hand. Be that a counterspell or 2 other cards. Alright, Experimental Augury. Does it resolve? It resolved. How you like that? Deadly Cover-Up. They're playing Deadly Cover-Up too. Interesting. Alright, they play Field of Ruin. Ah, there we go. Now we can play some cards. I'm going to play Geological Appraiser. I wonder if that was the one extra mountain that we played. Lightning Strike. Strike you. Strike you from the record. Alright, experimental augury. And annoy with affliction. Cool. And they did all that at the end of my turn. Pretty cool. Alright. Make them have it. And they had it. No proliferate, though. Alright. Let's make them have it. Okay. Draw a card. And it resolved. Hell yeah. Ooh, Bosswood. Yeah, we'll draw a card. Absolutely. Ooh, Liliana. Nice. Alright, Braska's Fall. I now have a poison counter. Alright, draw some cards. Alright, let's go ahead and play this land. And I think we'll play this creature. Alright. Then, play the Mosswood. No end of turn actions. And an Otawara, so he's probably just going to wipe the board, right? Because I would have kept the Otawara in hand if I didn't have an answer. Yeah, that's what I thought. Deadly Cover-Up. Alright, they're gone. What did you choose? Oh, the Dread Knights? Okay. Alright. You got 2 mana left open. What are you going to do with it? Draw some cards. Alright. Carnosaur. Ooh, and a Preacher. That's pretty cool. End turn. Which interaction were you talking about? Yes. Okay, cool. I'm gonna take my turn. Alright, so then we will attack. Or at least we're gonna try to. Hullbreaker Horror, you say? Okay. Resolve. Trophy time. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, because it was a destroy effect, not an exile. Unfortunately, I won't be able to get the Bat God back until I can whittle his hand down a little bit. Alright, get out of here, Hullbreaker. I was not expecting to see a Hullbreaker Horror in this deck. Alright, cool. When we draw another Assassin's Trophy. That's hilarious. Oh, you want to anoint him, huh? Okay, that's fine. He's gone. Alright, take that too. Alright, Liliana's here. Discard a card.
Happy to help. Drop it.
Alright, discarded a land. Ooh. He can still use his Field of Ruin on the Temple of the Back God, though. I wonder if he sees that. Oh, he's hovering the Back God. Yep, he sees it. Alright, cool. I will go get a swamp for my troubles. As my turn. Oh, well, look who it is. Alright, next. Attack for 2. Draw a card who is alive. Discard a card. Yeah, I'll discard this extra forest. What did he discard? He discarded a Spell Pierce. Yeah, Spell Pierce is kind of useless this late in the game. Okay. I can blow up lands too. Oh, okay. We'll counter it. We do get a proliferate, which kind of sucks. We mill 4 cards. Mill some more removal. It's all good.
You chose the wrong day to cross me.
Alright. Go ahead and discard that last card. Now discard that card. I'll discard Black Cleave Cliffs. Attack for 2. Ooh, Lightning Strike. I like that. We'll just hang on to that for a moment. Okay. Alright. You're gonna get it this time. Could have used that second Lightning Strike. It's all good. We will be A-okay.
A delay, nothing more.
Alright. Well, that makes me a little bit naked. So that's not good. So let's go there. So we can handle getting hit by that land. We can't handle getting hit by 2 poison counters. So I'll keep the Lilion in hand for now. I just need 1 card to deal 3 damage. That's it. Oh. Alright. Well, we're just kind of chilling right now then. Yep. And he's got enough mana to activate a second one. Maybe he doesn't want to. Oh, God. That was 2 more reach cards I could have used. Come on, man. Alright. Appraiser. Alright. Give me something good. Yes. Aggressive. Kicked. Kick you. Does it go off? It went off. Yes. Ah. Oh. Just killed you with a 3-cent common. Okay. Now that we're in game 2, we got some things to consider. And that thing is duress. Duress is absolutely coming in. See here. I want to keep the Assassin's Trophy, because those are going to be really good against those man lands. The lightning strikes can stay in. I think the bitter triumph should go. And I'll get rid of 1 copy of Trumpeting Carnosaur. I think that should do just fine. Is there anything else we might need? Cutdown's not really going to hit anything except for a Mirex token. Frillback's not really great for this match. Brotherhood's End is not good for this match. Lord Skater doesn't really hit anything. I think this will do. Done. Yeah, just bring in a few duresses. That should be fine. Okay, so it's Restless Cottage and Duress. Only 2 lands. I'm not feeling okay with this. Mulligan. Mulligan again. Alright. Whatever. Keep it. Alright. Let's send 2 of these mountains back. Jesus. That was really, really unfortunate. Alright, Restless Fence. I should have kept that first hand. Yeah, that was incredibly unlucky. There are 26 lands in the stack, by the way. Alright, let's go and play the Copperline Gorge. End turn. Yep. That was so silly. Alright, Field of Ruin. Pass. Alright. End of turn, Lightning Strike. Alright. Let's go with Mountain. End turn. Oh, you want to bust up my Restless Vents? That's fine. He's afraid of manlands. Alright, so I need a swamp now. Mirex, huh? Alright. I can do that too. Let's see if he taps out to make a creature. If he does, that'll allow us to play Geological Appraiser next turn. Blue. Okay, he just lets it go. You need to do anything with that 1 blue mana? Maybe draw a card? Yeah, Augury. I like Experimental Augury. It's like an interesting twist on, like, Brainstorm. Okay, let's go here. I'm gonna play Geological Appraiser. Make them have it. If they do have it, it sucks because I only have lands now. They had it. Alright, so that puts us in top deck mode. Not a place I like being. Ugh. Next game. Alright, let's see here. No, we'll keep it. We'll still keep it. That last game was just really bad draw. Having to mulligan down to 5. And having that last mulligan being 5 lands. Oof. Yeah, I play first. Okay, this is bad. But it's nowhere near as bad as last time. So I'll keep it begrudgingly. We'll see what happens. I'll play a Black Cleave first. Undercity Sewers. Surveil for 1. Alright. Restless Cottage comes in. Because I don't have anything to cast on turn 2. Plays a Field of Ruin. I will play Copperline Gorge and play Preacher. Make him have the counterspell. There's the counterspell. Alright, Restless Reef. Are they doing anything with their mana? They're not. Alright, so let's go Swamp into Duress. Play Augury. That's fine. I do not have any poison counters yet. Alright, now show me that hand. Alright, Prologue, Anoint, Duress, Anoint. So he has 2 removals and a Prologue. If he casts Duress, he won't get anything from me. So I'm going to get rid of your Prologue. And then I will play Preacher. That Talion is an interesting choice. Yep. Yeah, Duress is not as good against me as it is against you. Alright, let's go ahead and do this. Draw a card. Alright, let's go and play that. And play the Mosswood. You're up. Alright, he's got a Mirax. Not the best. Now, does he anoint my Mosswood? Or does he hold it for the Restless Cottage? He plays a Talion. For 3. Interesting. Well, I do have a lot of 3 in the deck, so that's not a bad choice. I'm drawing too many lands. Alright, pop him. Swing for 3? Nope, he does not swing for 3. Play Mountain. You can pop it one of 2 ways. There you go. Give me a forest. No tax. I do see the Anoint in his hand. He could just exile my Mosswood at any time. Okay, just gonna draw some cards. Oh, he didn't do anything. Alright, well, let's play this. And again, don't attack, because I don't have any good attacks. That Talion is holding me at bay pretty well. It's gone. I have entirely too many lands this game. This is usually not a problem. Yeah, sure, whatever. Enjoy your duress. That's 2 duress whiffs, by the way. Yeah, take 3. Gobble this pie. Are you kidding me? Why do I have so many lands? I wonder if he ditched the poison plan, because he hasn't hit me with a single poison card yet. Here, kill that. You are running a lot of counterspells, my friend. Mountain, go. Ugh. Yeah, he sideboarded in like a truck ton of like counterspells too. It's like I think he like transformed his deck out from the poison plan to just a hardcore counterspell plan. Because he has not gotten me with a single poison card yet. Yep, there it goes. Yeah, I'm done with this. This is no longer fun. It's okay though, it's okay. I don't like to tilt. But unfortunately, it is my bedtime. So I am actually going to continue playing this deck over the next few days. So tomorrow, expect another stream from this deck, because I am doing these I'm doing these streams to get footage, because I'm gonna turn this into a deck tech video, because I am really fascinated with the idea of taking an old deck and bringing it up to speed for standard, and so far it's not bad. It's not bad at all. Like there's a lot of like really good versatility among a lot of the cards that we're playing with this, and what's really fun is getting these discover effects off. The discover effects off, getting those into like great removal, discovering into a Liliana or a Preacher. It's just really fun. Yeah. So this is the deck in case you didn't see it earlier. I did do a short deck tech before jumping into the games, but this is it so far. I will be turning this footage into a deck tech later. So tomorrow, I would say probably around maybe 4 or 5 p.m. Pacific time, we will be doing another live stream. So you can look forward to that. So until next time, take care of yourselves. Have a good rest of your night. And thank you very much for hanging out with me. Later.